Hello everyone, introduce ourselves. We are from Group 5, International Relations Class 7 in President University. Now, we will present about Dutch Aggresion 2. But first of all, we would like to say a thank you to God Almighty because we were able to complete this PowerPoint. And also, we would like to say thank you for Mem Nino as a lecturer in Introduction to International Relations lessons. So,
Hi, I'm Sarah Mayrana Lusistio, and let me introduce our team members. First, there's Bruce William Zacharias. Second, there is Melissa Sumarau, and then Jonathan Tingtingon and Kaisar Perdana.
let's start. First, we have to know about table of context. The first is the concept, definition of power, national interest, and diplomacy. The second one we will explain about the explanation of the case. The third one is the affirmative. Fourth one is conclusion. And the last one is our critical opinion regarding the case.
The concept definition of power. In the second Dutch military aggression, the Dutch, who were already familiar with the Indonesian landscape, in their initial steps used the attack strategy that Japan had carried out when attacking the United States. The Dutch military strength at the time was large enough to make Indonesian resistance meaningless. Dutch troops also carried out clearance operations by arresting and detaining hundreds of suspected Indonesians. From the Dutch forces, it succeeded in taking many victims and destroying buildings, especially in Yogyakarta, and the occurrence of colonialism. Its aggression drew a lot of criticism from Asian countries, so that an Asian conference was held in India, which aimed to provide political and moral support for Indonesia. The next one is the concept definition of national interest. In the second Dutch military aggression, the Dutch, who lost the first Dutch military aggression, launched another attack on Indonesia with the aim of federalizing the center of government in Indonesia so that the Dutch could regain control of Indonesia. On the other hand, the Dutch also wanted to seize natural resources in Indonesia to grow the country's economy, which was destroyed after losing World War II. Indonesia, as a victimized country, defended itself with the TNI, or Indonesian National Army, which could counterattack, which overwhelmed the Dutch. Indonesia attack made the Dutch morale decline, and Indonesia was getting better at negotiations at the UN Security Council. For the last one, let me take you to the concept definition of diplomacy. Diplomacy is carried out to safeguard a country's national interests. Before the second Dutch military aggression, there was an agreement through the Renville Agreement, but there was internal chaos in Indonesia, and the Netherlands stated that it was not bound by the Renville Agreement. To stop the occurrence of the second Dutch military aggression, a roundtable conference, or Conferentie Meja Bundar, was held, which finally the Dutch managed to surrender full sovereignty to Indonesia on December 27, 1949, by signing 3 documents containing a statement accepting the results of the Roundtable Conference, or Conferentie Meja Bundar, and the Charter of Surrender of Sovereignty from the Dutch to Indonesia, which at that time was the Republic of Indonesia Union.
Okay, on this occasion, I would like to present what caused the Dutch military aggression to. The first reason is the Dutch wanted to destroy status of the Republic of Indonesia as a unified state. They made an effort to control the temporary capital of Indonesia in Yogyakarta by carrying out an operation Kraai, or we call Gagak Operation, in December 1948, with the aim of delegitimizing the Republic of Indonesia de facto by also arresting Indonesian leaders including Sukarno. The second reason is the Dutch violated the Renville Agreement in January 1948 regarding the ceasefire and territorial division agreement. Finally, a war broke out between Indonesia and Netherlands, marked by the March 1 general attack on Yogyakarta by Indonesia. Where did the incident occur? Dutch military aggression to or Operation Kraai, or we called Gagak Operation, occurred in Yogyakarta, in the capital of Indonesia at the time. So maybe that's all.
Thank you, Bruce. And now I'm going to explain when did that incident happen. Operation Kraai, or Operation Kraai, was a military operation conducted by Dutch forces in the early morning of December 19, 1948. And it lasted until January 5th, 1949. On the early hours of December 19, the Dutch launched their offensive with Dutch aircraft departing from Bandung towards Yogyakarta. Dutch High Commissioner Biel announced the Dutch withdrawal from the Renville Agreement. The attack commenced when Dutch airstrikes on Indonesian centers in Java and Sumatra, targeting Maguwo Airfield and other strategic locations. Dutch paratroopers landed at Maguwo Airfield, encountering minimal resistance and quickly securing it. Despite Dutch expectation of fierce resistance, most Indonesian forces had already left Yogyakarta, adopting guerrilla tactics to avoid direct confrontation. And now you might be wondering, who are the actors in this incident? Operation Kraai was conducted by the Royal Netherlands Army, or Koninklijke Landmacht, under the command of General Hendrik Spoor. The Dutch forces involved in the operation included infantry unit, armored unit, and air support. They aimed to capture the city of Yogyakarta, the capital of the Republic of Indonesia at that time. On the Indonesian side, the targeted individuals included President Sukarno, Vice President Muhammad Hatta, and other key leaders of the Indonesian independence movement who were located in Yogyakarta at the time. These leaders were ultimately detained by Dutch forces during the operation.
Okay, now I will explain how was the peacemaking process of Dutch military aggression 2. The Dutch military aggression 2 was a military attack launched by the Netherlands on December 19, 1948 in Yogyakarta. The purpose of the military aggression 2 was to destroy the status of the Republic of Indonesia as a state entity, control the temporary capital of Indonesia, Yogyakarta, and capture the leaders of the Indonesia government. The Netherlands launched the military aggression 2 because they felt that Indonesia had betrayed the contents of the Renville negotiations. This attack took place December 19 until 20 in 1948 in Yogyakarta. After the military aggression 1, the Netherlands was willing to negotiate with Indonesia again. However, both parties claimed that one party had betrayed the negotiations. These reasons made the Netherlands launch its second military aggressions on December 19, 1948. The peaceful resolutions of the Dutch military aggression 2 occurred through several stages. The UN ordered the Netherlands to comply with the contents of the Renville negotiations. After that, the Netherlands released Sukarno and Hatta on July 6, 1949 after being pressured by the UN. And then, Indonesia and the Netherlands conducted the Roem-Royen Agreement after the second Dutch military aggression was stopped. Indonesia and the Netherlands were willing to stop military operations, and Indonesia was willing to follow the Conferentie Meter Bundar negotiations or Round Table Conference in The Hague, the Netherlands from 23 August to 2 November 1949. Between representatives of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, the Republic of Indonesia, and the Federal Consultative Assembly. Representative federal states the Dutch had created in the Indonesian archipelago. After the conference, the Netherlands agreed to the return of the Republic of Indonesia to Yogyakarta. The Netherlands agreed to Republic of Indonesia as a part of State of Indonesia. The Netherlands recognized Java and Madura as de facto territories of Republic Indonesia. The Netherlands left the Republic of Indonesia territory no later than January 1, 1949. The Netherlands and Indonesia agreed to form the RIS, or Republic of Indonesia State. RIS became a Commonwealth country under the auspices of the Dutch state. The process of peaceful resolution in military aggression II involved various stages and important agreements that eventually led to the recognition of Indonesian sovereignty by the Netherlands.
The end of the military aggression have a significant impact for Indonesia and Netherlands. And for Indonesia, the end of the Dutch aggression resulted in the formal recognition of Indonesia's independence that exemplified by the Rome-Van Agreement of 1949, which marked by the Netherlands' acknowledgement of Indonesian sovereignty. And next, with the cessation of hostilities, Indonesia seized the opportunity to establish the Republic of Indonesia and initiating its journey towards independent statehood and self-governance aligned with the aspiration of its populace. And the resolution of the conflict effectively ended the armed struggle between Indonesia and the Netherlands. And the last, the peace process helped strengthen Indonesia's unity as a nation-state with internationally recognized sovereignty. And for the Netherlands, the end of the Dutch aggression marked the definitive loss of Indonesia as a colony that representing a significant economic and political setback for the Netherlands. And next, the Netherlands formally recognized Indonesian independence and ending its colonial rule in the region. And the resolution of the conflict paved the way for the restoration of diplomatic relations between the Netherlands and Indonesia. Alas, the loss of Indonesia prompted the Netherlands to restructure its foreign policy and refocus its attention on relationship with European nations and other international partners.
Now you might be asking, why is peace so necessary? Peace in the Indonesian national revolution is crucial for safeguarding civilians from harm, restoring regional stability and security, addressing underlying grievance through dialogue, fostering positive international relations, rebuilding economy, and promoting growth. Additionally, peace facilitates healing and social cohesion among communities affected by the conflict, highlighting its multifaceted importance in ensuring a sustainable and prosperous future growth region.
Our critical opinion, the first is a strong country during the era of colonialism. The Dutch, as a strong country, used their power to regain control of Indonesia for their own purpose. The second one is the role of international institutions. As we know, the Roundtable Conference was the culminating point in resolving the Dutch military aggression, in which the role of UNCI was involved in this conference. And the third one is the power of peace. During the process of aggression that occurred, there were many diplomatic action and peaceful efforts from both countries. Even though it is not easy and violence have occurred several times, but it must still be done. Maybe that's all from us. Thank you for all of your attention. Hopefully, with our presentation, can giving a big impact for all of you. And also, we are apologize if during the presentation we are doing mistakes. Once again, thank you and good luck.